marches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shaman Sundays. I am your host, Brandon Cooper. As you can see behind me, I am in a special location. I am hanging out up here at Sacred Mountain Retreat in Deadwood, South Dakota. We had some training that we did this weekend, getting prepared for the coming year. So, we've had a blast. So I am supposed to have a guest on. However, the guest has not shown up, so don't worry for my one viewer. I got 3 viewers. Hey, people. Angel K, hello there. I was talking about you the other day with Lisa. I just got a message. Okay, so apparently he says he's sitting here. So talk amongst yourselves. No, I'm just kidding. I'll continue talking. So I guess while I'm doing this, we can go ahead and we can get our sponsors out of the way. Let's talk about Mama T's Herbs in Greenville, South Carolina. Mama T's Herbs is, I guess, it's going to be the only herbalist that I advertise and support on Shaman Sundays. I know her. I trust her. I love her. I know where she gets her stuff. I help make things in the shop as well. Right now, we're working on a new product called Shaman Smoke. It is an herbal smoking blend that will also help you to quit smoking. Actually, there, Don, I have an overlay. It says Shaman Smokes. If you want to pull that up. Well, after this, let's go over this. She also offers. There it is. There's the Shaman Smokes. So, Mountaintop has Indian tobacco, and osha root, and 2 other proprietary herbs in the smoke blend. I love it. It's great. So, it should be coming up very soon on her website. So check it out. It's mamat'sherbs.com. mamat'sherbs.com. Let me take a quick break here and say hello to everybody. Carol, hello. Good to see you. Scott Horn, even though you're literally sitting right there, thank you for. Hey, the horns are literally right over there. Jamie Lynn, hello, Jamie Lynn. Tabitha, hello, Jamie Lynn. I just want to say thank you for putting up a black heart because it's the same color as mine. I love you, sweetie. That's awesome. That helps you quit smoking. It's going to help me quit smoking. I have not quit yet because I'm stubborn, but it will. We just started packaging those smokes right before I came out here to Deadwood, so they should be available soon. Let's also, speaking of Deadwood, as you can see behind me, Sacred Mountain Retreat, the banner everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up. We're going to talk about Sacred Mountain Retreat, where the hills heal the heroes. I can't say those H's together because I'm just a redneck, but you know what? I do my damnedest. So they got a program called Got Your Six. You can donate $6 a month on the 6th of every month. Listen, folks, I just went through mentor training, and our goal, and if there's any haters out there that watch this show, pay attention to what I'm about to say. This place cares only about healing the heroes. There's a lot of people that want to talk smack. Well, you know what? If you want to talk smack, please put it in the comments so I can shut you down. Because I will, or call me, or whatever. Oh, but this place is amazing. It saved my life. If, like I've said many, many times, it has saved my life. It's going to be amazing. This year is going to be great. You know what? I actually have the dates that I can pull back up for Sacred Mountain. So, and then our guest this evening is going to be Carter Burchard. He has been on the show before and was an absolute blast to have on. And he has a new book coming out, or as actually it's already come out. I just haven't had a chance to get it. But here's a little background. I'll read a little blurb on Carter, and then we're just going to get started. After investigating hundreds of reports and interviewing just as many witnesses or more, Carter has come to believe that there may be other aspects and attributes to these creatures, being Bigfoots, that must be investigated, many of which are considered to be topics too extreme or controversial within the contrails, constraints, I can't read, of the mainstream Bigfoot groups and science as well. He also asked for any witness. You know what? We'll talk about the rest of this. But I mean, it's super interesting. The man's got great theories. And you know what? Without further ado, let's just go ahead and welcome Carter Burchard to the broadcast.
Howdy.
Hey, brother. How are you?
What's going on, Big Daddy?
Man, living the dream up here in this 12-foot snow drifts of South Dakota.
Well, it was 69 today in Missouri. We took our convertible out for a drive for the first time. It felt.
I can't be mad at that. I can't.
No, I mean we've had winter like everybody else. Officially, it's still winter, but it was just we had virtually. I think we had 4 to 6 inches of snow. It rained more than it snowed, and it was just really a non-event. It was global warming at its finest.
Right.
Here in Missouri.
When I left home at 4:30, I think it was, Thursday morning in South Carolina, it was 70 degrees at 4:30 in the morning. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. How have you been? It's been several months since we've talked.
Yeah, no, I've been pretty good. I mean, I've written 3 books in 2.5 years, and so my COVID hibernation is over. I'm getting the Joneses to go get some ticks and fleas out in the woods. I mean, I've got to get out. I'm beyond caged up. So, but it's been a good year. It's been interesting. I'm hearing from even more bizarre people that are in the book so far. I mean, just when they read the book or hear another podcast, they call and go, well, nobody will talk to me.
Right.
Well, why is that? Well, because I saw a Sasquatch and it walked through my tree in my backyard and into the neighbor's fence and then walked through the fence. Well, I'll talk to you.
Well, of course.
I've seen something before, So yeah, what you were saying earlier is true. I've had my own personal experiences that took me from the ape only, which is where I started with the people that I hooked up with here in Missouri, but their head is so far up, places that are very dark and warm. And you just don't have an open mind. You just have to have an open mind. You don't have to believe everything you see and hear, but you got to have an open mind because, if you're just all made up, well, how come this happens and this happens? You say it can't, but it's happening. And somebody saw it.
Right.
You believe them, but not this time. It just doesn't make sense, and it's Anyway, the world's weird, that, and there's so much going on with these beings, and it's mind-boggling, In this book, I've got a little of everything. I've got habituations, and I've got incredible sightings in relationships. I took another Dogman report, which it's a private report. But he's got some video, and it's just like, holy crap, that's pretty interesting.
Right.
So you just can't, you can deny it, but there's just stuff going on. And if you're just so rigid in your belief system that you just can't expand it a little bit, I just feel sorry for you.
Well, that's all I ask in the paranormal and shamanic world. You don't have to believe everything. Just give it a shot,
And I use shamans and seers for remote viewing and for some things that people are having problems, and they thought they saw something and they're not really sure. And so I have her check out their property, remote viewing, so to speak, and
right.
she's remarkably accurate, And a lot of people don't want to talk to a medium or a psychic because that sounds as crazy as seeing a Sasquatch. Well, how'd you know you saw a Sasquatch? Well, my psychic told me. Okay. So that makes you a double crazy person,
Right.
So you can't win in this business. So, but anyway, good year. Books are going okay, and it's, I'm a happy camper, I don't think I have another one in me, but I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a book. Maybe a TV series.
Well, I think one of my stories would be perfect for that, but it's too bizarre and they want to tone it down. My guy in Canada that had all that bizarre stuff that is so off the wall. The Sasquatch putting his finger through the window and putting it on his forehead and knocking him down. He's dead. He's having an experience. They're going, oh, we can't do that. Really, I've seen some of the stuff you guys put on TV. Come on.
Exactly.
So why not?
I mean, they brought back Quantum Leap for God's sake. They can, they can do this.
Yeah. And there's relatively decent, I'm going to call it evidence. I'm going to call it scientific evidence because science doesn't believe in our evidence, but they believe in their evidence. But evidence of something happening. That's what it is. It's evidence that something has occurred that these people cannot explain. They're not saying it's proof of Sasquatch, but it is evidence that something really bizarre happened. It's even better if they have a little of it on tape.
Right.
My witnesses here in this state sent me a video, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, it's clear as a bell. It's a trail cam shot. The camera is 8 feet up on top of a pole. It's not strapped to the side; it's up top. And you see this creature walking at you, and then it veers off, and you see this big, giant, pointed ear on the side of a head, and it's walking straight at the camera. Then it suddenly goes like this when it sees the camera. It's clear as a bell. And so what I did was took the 22 seconds of video,
right?
11 shots of the ear on the side of the head, frame by frame by frame. And you can watch it, and you just go, you can't explain it. That's
right.
You can't,
I think I saw that at Joplin, at the Joplin Paracon when we first met. I think.
Did you put that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had just gotten it, and I've been sending it to a couple of guys that are like serious dogman researchers. They're, I get dogman reports random and as an addition to a Sasquatch event or something. So that's not my main thrust, and that's not where my expertise is. Although if there are cryptid running muck in the woods, well, that's in my field. Deanna Dean, where was the dogman you recently heard of? Missouri. That's all I can tell you. I can't give it any clearer stuff. Let me see if I still got Facebook up. I will send Brandon. I will send you a picture.
Okay.
Of one of the ears. I can't send you the whole. I can send you the whole video.
I mean, whatever you want to do, because I can screen share.
Earshot, because I simply don't want the video out there, and if I put it on there, anybody can grab it off the thing.
Exactly, right.
Let's see here. Ear still shots. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Go to Brandon Cooper and attach a file. I'll go to them. Let's see. I hope you can see this. Okay, I just sent you a whole bunch of pictures.
All right.
If you haven't seen the video, I'll send it to you off the air at some point. You can take a look.
Okay, right.
I have the permission to share it, but it just cannot be put on the airwaves.
Understood.
I don't know what it is exactly, but if you got the pictures, you see the ear shot?
I am trying to pull it up right now, and my computer's a little slow. Did you send it on Messenger?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's in about 7, 8, 9 pictures.
I haven't got it yet, but I have. I'm on top of, like, I'm literally in the Black Mountain or the Black Hills, so it may take a minute for this Wi-Fi to get through. But
Okay.
until then, we can just continue
We'll just
talking.
chat. We'll just chat. So,
Yep.
But the cover.
Yep, and I think I have a picture of.
I sent that to you. Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Now, when I put this out, I got ripped to shreds. People were saying fake, 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 or that's the greatest thing I ever saw. Nothing in between. You're a complete fake. How dare you put something out like this? You know better than that. But who do you think you are? I go, well, my mama likes me. But anyway,
Right.
When I met this guy, this is the hunter. This is another guy's property. This guy is the town preacher. And he is allowed, they're very best friends. So when the other guy can't make it, he goes out every 2 or 3 weeks and they check the cameras, they check the batteries, SD cards, strap them up tight on the trees and just make sure they got about 35 cameras in this one spot. So if you look at the picture of the preacher, he's walking through there at 3:12 and 36 seconds in the afternoon. That Sasquatch hand, or whatever hand it is 3:12 and 40 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
4 seconds behind him. That's the same camera, same location. If you see the tree, where the pastor is there, you see the tree horizontal on the ground. It's kind of laying there.
Yep.
You can see the shadow on the ground where he's stepping, and you can see the trees in the background. On the picture of the hand, you've got the shadow is not quite as pronounced because I think the Sasquatch bumped the camera. If you look in the upper right of the photo, you'll see the trees look like they're bending.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no wind. I think that Sasquatch, whether it was materializing or it was there and he just missed it, bumped the camera. But I've done so many searches with picture facial recognition online and checked for manipulation of the photo. I find nothing. Now, I'm not a photo expert, but I've got the programs where you can check to see if there's any tampering or adjustment of the JPEGs and all that good stuff. Anyway, it's not there. So I think personally, because he did not see it, he didn't sense it, he didn't hear it. It was like it was never there. I think it materialized out of wherever it was. They have seen other bizarre things
Right.
on the property, and it's in the book. It's just very involved, but that particular photo. When we were shooting, we were out there shooting a pilot for a TV show that never got off the ground because of the production company people were just jerks. They fought constantly.
Right.
Calling. I mean, it was just like we knew this wasn't going anywhere. But we were out there, and we were out there. A preacher told me, he said, I think I've got a picture of that Sasquatch showing up about 10 or 12 seconds after I walk past that camera. I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you. Well, he found it and sent it to me. It was 4 seconds, not 12.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, he goes, oh my God, I didn't really realize, he was just aghast. He was, I didn't know it was like, oh my God, it panicked him. So what do you do? I've talked to these people. I looked them in the eye when I first met them. I said, has this been manipulated? Is this any kind of prank, whether by you or somebody else? I have to ask because, I'm putting my name on the line and I don't want to mislead the public if I'm, pushing false data. Carter, it's as true as it can be. And don't ask me that question again.
Okay. Sure.
But I know these, I've got to know these guys, and they're just not those types. And they don't want anything. They want no money. They didn't want their names or anything in the book. They got a free book. That's what they got. That's the haul from faking me out. That's what they got.
Right.
So, and that goes a long way because hoaxers like attention, and they want to fool you and pull you over and be able to strut around like, yeah, I got him,
Right.
These are just simple down-home folks. All my witnesses are really. I mean, they just, you can, when you're getting yanked.
Exactly.
And I do too. And I just don't get that. I haven't told a couple of people off, but I've known, okay, well, thanks a lot for your information and time, pictures. I'll take a look and get back with you. I just never do because I'm going, this guy's full of crap.
Right.
And so, there's hoaxing in the paranormal world, in the cryptid world. You know how that,
Mm-hmm.
Great costs, interdimensional beings. I do not doubt it. I think that's quite the possibility.
Yep.
There's too many things, going on, but in changing your vibrational frequency is a real thing. The Hindus in the priests that segregate themselves from society, and all they do 24/7 is meditate and become one. They can levitate, they can disappear, they can go to other dimensions and shift back and forth. They do this all the time. It's a common belief. We in the West, that's bull. We can't. That can't happen. How can you? Well, my government told me it's not real. My teachers told me.
Of course, and I believe them.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Well, first 20 years of your life, you're educated, indoctrinated into the way the world is, how you're supposed to see it.
Exactly.
And you're in school, and if you go to college, so by the time you're out, those influences might start to wear off. When you see things you can't explain, you want to start going. But they said that I gotta look at it. That doesn't make sense, Well, the government says, well, there's no Sasquatch, there's no UFOs. Oh, wait, they lied about the UFOs. Sasquatch is right behind. We're going to get some baloney excuse at some point, I think.
Yeah.
We got some DNA. We got the dermal ridges are just too complex, too real for us to ignore this. So we think there might be something. We'll get back to you,
Well, I mean, do you think that they'll ever mention about how the Bigfoot met with a government official right before, what was it, the mountain, the volcano that blew up? Have you heard that? Yeah, because they lost several of the species that was inside the mountain.
Yeah, they did, and some of those reports of these were not these were firefighters that I heard from, not the. I've seen that document that's out there. It talks all about, they were treating one big giant male. He was, burned badly, and they took him away and took him somewhere else, and they never saw it again. But there's a really good interview with 4 firefighters, and 3 or 4, a family, Sasquatch, walked out of the blazing forest toward them, and they just stared at each other, and I think one of them was burned a little bit, but you hear that. And these are from firefighters, and they were told, the story they told, we were told to shut up, you say nothing, you saw nothing, this didn't happen, blah, 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 the same old stuff. Right. And, when you just read these accounts, it's believable. It's, these people aren't jerking you, the stories are consistent. And so, at some point you got to start believing some of this, and, in my books, I've talked to, now the count is up to about 400 people I've talked to. I've had 100 reports published to BFRO. And these people, they want nothing other than to just talk to somebody. Right. Get it off their chest. And invariably, when they're telling me about, this is the funny part, when you're talking to witnesses, especially with Sasquatch, you may find this in your paranormal field, that when you're talking to somebody, they tell you their initial story, and they see your reaction, right? And then they tell you the good stuff. Yep. Same thing. They're testing. They want to see if you're going to go, listen, Bob, I think right. You got some of that good gummies, or you got a bad tuna sandwich, and it's just making you see things. But thanks. But that's how they test you, And then I test them by asking them the same question 3 or 4 times in different ways each time to see if they're consistent. So they're testing me, I'm testing them. Like you probably do when you get one of these stories that's off the wall. I don't know what you consider off the wall. Anything paranormal really is off the wall. Right. But I mean, that's how they test you. And I'm glad to pass that test, because and that's, I laugh now, and then we laugh later after they've told me the good stuff. Well, I just wanted to see, because I've talked to so many people that just laugh at me. My wife laughs at me, my husband laughs at me, or whatever. My coworkers, I just shut up. I can't talk to anybody anymore. Right. And that's not fair.
No, not at all. And like in the paranormal world, it's in the edibles. Yeah, exactly. We run into that a lot in the paranormal world, especially with like scratches, or when something shows up. They, people, they'll take a picture. Next minute it's gone, so they're really scared to say, "Hey, something touched me," because they think that we're going to look at them like they're totally insane, and like like they're the only person that's ever been scratched.
Yeah.
And once I look at them and I show them all these pictures of other people that have been scratched, and I'm like, it happens a lot. Then you get the real stuff.
Yeah.
Real story. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've got a witness right now who she's in the book, under habituation, a little bit of everything. And it's a fantastic account of what they have going on their property, and it's just getting better and better and better. And I just got an email from her the other day talking about her husband has been scratched twice in bed, same arm, right below the right arm, right below the elbow, 3 scratch.
Yep.
And he keeps his nails like chewed to the quick, so he's not scratching himself. And it's happened like 6 months apart. They can't explain it. And they're really mostly, it's Sasquatch stuff they have going on, as far as they know.
Yeah.
But that came up. So a little bit of I'll change it with paranormal entering into the quantum world of my Sasquatch world. So because you don't often hear of people being scratched by Sasquatch.
Right.
Now I've had something tap the top of my head while I'm sitting on the sofa watching TV with my wife. That was about 6-7 months ago. And she's sitting on the couch with me. Did you just tap me on the head? No. Okay, well, I didn't think so. You're sitting too far away. I was just wondering. And
Right.
she goes, again? I said, yeah. Because we have weird, since I made contact with this clan in 2019 in Illinois when I led an expedition, I've had bizarre things going on here at the house. Like every 2, 3, 4 weeks, there'll be something. Something just weird. Like my wife's computer, her Kindle turning on and off, on and off, on and off all night. It's a 2-step process to turn it on.
Right.
It's not like it's got a glitch. You have to open it and then you push this one button. I can't remember what it is. It's an older Kindle. And then you have to push another button to get it to come on. You turn the power on, then you turn the screen on. It's a 2-step process. So it can't happen by accident. I guess in a 1,000,000 to 1 odds, I guess it could, but it has to physically be opened and done like that. But it just goes on all by itself.
Right. And here's a good question from Greg. He says, do you think, Carter, that our friend is responsible for some of the 411 people?
Entirely possible. I think he does really good work, but I think he probably knows a little more. And I understand where he's coming from, Polides, that, well, I better not say it until I'm 147% sure, but
Right.
I think it's possible. Now that goes against the grain of what I believe, that these are not mean, hateful, snarling monster people.
Right.
These people may wander into caves. These people seem to have disappeared and reappeared. Their clothes are on backwards, their shoes are off, they're stripping down to their butt naked in freezing weather. I mean, what makes you do that?
Right.
And so I don't know if I think they may be responsible in that they trip into another dimension or portal rather than they're killed and eaten or anything like that.
Well, I think the only time that a Bigfoot or the hairy man or Sasquatch or whatever you so name him would get violent is I also think that they are here to protect certain things. And if somebody is stupid enough, and we all know how human nature is, somebody's going to be dumb enough to go and disturb something that is sacred and not supposed to be messed with. Well, if you stick a pit bull in the eye with a stick, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, he ain't going to lick you.
No, not at all. So, I mean, I think some of that may, like maybe 0.00001% might fall into that category. Other than that, I agree with you. They're not here to hurt.
No, they're here to keep us from killing each other, to keep us from killing the planet, and be kind to nature. I think that's their true modus operandi here. That's what they're here for, because they could take us out anytime they want. And here's the other thing: when these people are lost, they're confused and scared. The last thing they're going to do is attack something or do something. Not to say, out of a crowd of humans, there's always a butthead.
Exactly.
Always somebody who has a record is going to have one real soon.
Exactly. Right.
And so that could be a rogue here and there. But, everything seems to be pointing to another explanation than that. But if they're slipping into portals, because some of these people, if you read about some of these, they're watching people look for them, and they're trying to get through this fog. They can't. They're watching it, but they go,
right.
You can't hear me.
Right.
They're watching, because of the few that have survived. They said, well, I was watching you guys look for me, and I couldn't see. I couldn't do anything, but I could see you. So it's an odd conundrum, Here's something also interesting. That's a good question he asked, by the way, because logic would tell you, well, there's something there. But if you overlay a map of the United States, you overlay another map on top of that of the cave systems,
Mhm.
overlay another map of the forestry, the national forests, and then you overlay a map of concentration of Bigfoot sightings all across America. They're incredibly the same. I mean, those
Right.
maps, they're right on top of each other. With a few exceptions, there's a little bleed over, but it's like, well, it's all kind of going on. What's going on in the national forest?
Exactly. Dita brings up a good one. Maybe they can't have other items like clothes, or the molecules could merge, or they all need or they need all bioorganic. I guess she's talking about when they kind of go into that secondary dimension or what have you, where they're looking out and they can't say, because you say they're butt naked or everything's twisted. I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, well, it is a good point. And Dotlov's Pass,
Mm-hmm.
those Russian 8 or 9
Yes,
campers.
I'm very
Half of
familiar
them
with
had their clothes they threw their clothes off.
right.
They weren't sleeping naked
No,
in sub-zero weather. They were scratching their way out of the tent and taking their clothes off and throwing them and running them up through the woods,
right.
naked.
And all the locals in that case, they warned these hikers and these explorers, don't go up there.
Mm-hmm.
So
What makes you throw off all your clothes? I mean, it's just is it like she mentioned, maybe a molecular thing where it's bothering me and, it's keeping me from getting warm or coming back to where everybody is. I mean, you don't know what you're thinking because you're not there.
exactly.
If we were there to watch that, would that be just an incredible case study? But,
Yeah.
like I said, we're not told the truth about the world. We're told what they want us to think and believe about the world, our country, our universe, our planet, our cosmos. And so we just walk out into the world after 20 years of education and go, "Well, I'll do this, there's the sun, there's the moon. It's not hollow. It's a real thing. It's a real planet. It's not a artificial satellite." All the stuff
Right.
that we question now because there's questions coming because people are starting to question right now.
Carol says that the lights have flickered behind you a couple of times.
That's because I hadn't paid my bill.
Yeah, well, that'll do it as well.
Yeah, I told him, hey, just I'll give you a book. Give me another month free of electricity, will you please? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can't explain things when they tell us how it is, and something conversely happens. So what is it that's going on?
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. So with rare exception, I'm open to almost anything someone tells me. But if you're gonna get really involved in this story, might make a book, you better be spot on because I will dissect it.
Right.
I don't want to mislead anybody. I don't want my bubble to be popped, and
Right.
I'm not sure what that is. Sorry about that. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But these people, I cannot be finding all the crazy people just by myself. So these people are onto something. They are all on to something. My habituation witnesses with 5, 10,
Right.
multiple generations of life with Sasquatch on their property, the things they see and experience. They just tell you that matter of factly. Like, I went to the store today, I got a haircut, I went to Walmart, went to Taco Bell. Oh yeah, Bobby saw a Sasquatch this morning.
Right. Yeah.
It's an everyday thing, and they think nothing of it because they have a relationship and the thing they're going, and they're going about their day, but in the back of their mind they're going, there's people here. These people are here.
Yep. Anne Marie Young says all us crazy people are finding each other. Could be.
Well,
Could very well.
yourself, I'm not crazy, I'm insane. There's a difference.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell most people too. I'm like, look, if you need to see my VA record, it proves I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
but
right.
Thank you for your service.
Oh no, thank you.
It made you crazy, but thank you for your service.
Hey, but now I'm crazy and doing a podcast, so who cares, right?
Yeah. So, but the stories and that other picture I sent you, How long is our show? An hour?
Hour, yeah.
Yeah. That other picture I sent you.
Unfortunately, I keep looking back at my Facebook and I haven't gotten to any of those pictures yet.
That face.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll pull it up right now.
That.
Yes.
Okay. This is a face print of a Sasquatch looking from the inside of a greenhouse. The moisture is coming from the heaters because here in Missouri it gets bitter cold. So they've got propane running heaters in 2 greenhouses. There's a machine that's got 2 pipes running to both. This is a juvenile, and this creature got caught one night eating strawberries and the tops off of radishes in the greenhouse. It was screaming and yelling as it ran out of the greenhouse. It bumped into my witness. They touched.
Oh.
Literally, it ran right by him. His face was a foot away. It brushed up against him as they squeezed through the door. That guy there is about 6'7". He's been caught in there several times. The first night he caught him, he heard a noise, and they live in a rural but heavily wooded area, and there's a lot of theft. People stealing crops, bales of hay, food, guns, tools, whatever, because that's how it is in some, economically depressed areas. You know how it is.
Right.
Well, somebody's into the greenhouse and they're stealing my vegetables, and I'll be damned if I'm going to put up with that. So I'm going to go out there. And so on the way out there, the very first time, all of a sudden, all hell broke loose in the woods all around him. The parents were screaming and yelling. He heard screaming and yelling from inside the greenhouse, although he hadn't yet figured out who was in there.
Right.
And so this creature was freaking out because he was hearing his parents freaking out. And that's when he went in there. And he'd been sleeping in there. He'd been going in there at night and sleeping. And because the grasses on the ground was all matted down.
Right.
And the radishes. And so this is an habituation. Now, this family goes back at least 3 generations. I've known the patriarch for about 10 years. He had 2 Class A's. There are families that these Sasquatch are attracted to because they're good people. They don't hunt recklessly. They don't just take trophies and leave a good piece of meat laying out there in the woods. They take care of the planet and the nature, and they're kind to the animals, and they're careful with pollution and all that stuff. There's 3 generations of this family that have all had it. When I went down to meet this family, 9 people showed up from 3 different families within a family. And they were all pulling out their cell phones. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at this. They all had pictures and videos. The craziest thing, I was sitting there in the living room, and I brought a box of my books, not this one, but the second one. And I was handing them out and everything. And they were just pulling stuff up left and right. I mean, I never had so much evidence thrown in my face at one time. And, some of it was, the blob squatch and stuff, but, I know what they're looking at, but it does not translate into a picture. But I've seen that. I've been with people when they're seeing it, and I've seen it. But the picture sucks. But it's a real thing. But it doesn't translate because the people are nervous. They're freaking out. If the creature can change its vibrational frequency, it doesn't need to do it much. And just so that picture is blurry. There's all kinds of reasons. It's not because they're just, they're scared or unprepared. Well, how come the pictures are all, people are going to bitch if the picture is too good.
Exactly.
Like the handprint I just showed you, or that face. Well, that's baloney. I put that out first. Glad I got to find out a bunch of people that I thought were friends were just trashing me. I'm glad their names were on there and they're posting, "Oh, Carter, how dare you? How could you possibly? Oh my God!" I just got rid of them because I don't need. If you're gonna just trash me with other than just seeing a picture, you just trash me in the photo without knowing anything about it. Well, you didn't tell us anything. Well, I wanted to have an intelligent discourse. I didn't want to listen to you bitching and moaning and trashing me. I wanted to have an intelligent, I'll tell you all about it and see if you still believe the same. Oh no, it's just like, that's baloney, isn't it? You know,
Right.
that's what's wrong in the Sasquatch world. And I know it's in your world. I mean, in the Sasquatch research, it's probably the same with you, but everybody wants to be the one.
Exactly. Yep.
Everybody wants to be the one that has the body or the proof or the unbelievable photo. I've got a photo, not a photo, a video that will blow you away. There's not a person who can look at it and deny what it is. I can't show it. It's not mine to show.
Right.
It is by far Patterson Gimlin. This is like the cat's meow. But I'll give my word. I'm not going to share the photo.
See, Carol is asking, and she's had this comment up for a minute. Do you think that those people that have Bigfoot on their property are doing what's called gifting?
Oh yeah, yeah. In this book here, I've got a lady who has been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and I've given her some pointers, and we've shared some ideas, and she's got some incredible gifting reactions and interactions. It's just mind blowing, you know. And most of my habituation witnesses do gift.
Okay.
And the only danger in gifting is if you're gifting food, they do get cranky because they like that human food. If you quit doing it, they'll be banging on your house, they'll be banging on your car, screaming, yelling, throwing rocks on the roof and stuff. Where's my food? You know,
right.
They like that. They miss it. You know, they have no other way to express themselves, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
But yes, these people are have ongoing gifting, and this lady, I've told her, I said, you ought to try mirrors, because in my mind, I'm imposing my human attributes on the Sasquatch mind. Angel K, yes, I do. Let me finish this story. I have another story about that. So, but I said, I put up mirrors because I think they would like to see their faces, because they never see their face ever,
Right.
unless it's in a babbling brook or a creek or a pond or something. They look down and see, but it's still kind of watery. The Sasquatches take the mirrors down and put them on the ground, face down. She puts them back up. They take them off and put them back down, face down. Finally, they broke the glass on one of them, and they took the other mirror and strapped it to the tree with a vine, with the mirror facing the tree.
Uh-huh.
So work at it. And who does that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Isn't that cool? That's such a cool thing.
Yeah, it is.
You're interacting with a primordial relative of man.
Yeah.
At the very least, if not a hybrid. Having this little tit for tat thing. Well, here's my mirror. I don't want it. Here's my mirror. I don't want it. I mean,
Right.
It's comical.
It is.
It's hilarious.
Real quick, I need to announce, those of you that are just tuning in and watching, put hashtag Bigfoot all in lowercase in the chat, and you will be entered for the giveaway at the end of this show. And I have decided that the giveaway, whoever wins, I will let you pick one of Carter Burchard's books. I will order it for you, have it autographed, and that's what you will win. That is his latest. That one's a good one. I've had that one. I've read them. They're great. So whatever you so desire, that is what you'll win. Yes.
A gaggle of books. And by the way, they're full color.
Mm-hmm.
I do autograph them. They're on nice glossy paper. They're not black and white pulp.
Yeah, they are quite good books. I have your first 2 books, and I will be ordering. I haven't had a chance yet, but
Yeah.
your 3rd book, because the first 2 amazing, especially the guy in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just did. You know Sibylla Irwin?
Of him. Yeah.
Well, no, she did the artwork. Sibylla Irwin. She has a show now called Sketching Encounters. It's on YouTube. He was a recluse, and he came out and he did 2 one-hour shows talking about all the stuff that happened to him over 30 years, him and his dad. 30 freaking years or longer. And he and I had to talk about it. But he was just too cool and too busy being a kid, and they were trying to interact with him. Well, they weren't stopping because we determined later through other events that they were assigned to him.
Okay.
To take care of him and to educate him and his father. And they were chosen because of their relationship with the indigenous people up in Canada. We determined that's why. We don't know that, but it was an assumption based on the activity. And they just wouldn't let them go. So we are going to educate you. I don't care what we have to do. And that's when they put his hand through the window and,
right.
Which is my body. There's so many more pieces to that story that I can't say, but it's just mind-boggling. So yeah, there's stuff going on. It's real stuff, So yeah, pick somebody out, and I'll give you a break on both those books.
Oh, well, I will give you guys 3 more minutes to put your hashtag Bigfoot, all in lowercase in.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the end of the show, we will run it and we will pick a winner. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you said that you were going to tell a story about nursing areas of the Bigfoot for birthing or whatnot.
Yes. I just heard from somebody up in Canada, by the way, in the northern hinterlands of British Columbia, that they were told by a group of indigenous peoples that the Sasquatch get together in big groups to mate so that there's no inbreeding, if that's even a problem amongst them, because we don't know what their DNA situation is.
Right.
And by virtue of them all mating and hopefully getting pregnant within a few days of each other, that they can time the birth and they meet again to have a birth in a safe environment. Well, there's other Sasquatch watching, looking out while they have their birthing and their mating ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes sense.
Right.
In a sense. Now, my guy in Canada, one of the things he was watching one night with the big Sasquatch that zapped him was he was watching this beautiful young Sasquatch woman. And he just felt she was young, but she was doing this he thought it was erotic at first. It was this erotic dance, but what it ended up being was a coming of age dance, like the Hispanic culture does
the quinceañera.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
And when you're 14 to 16, you are introduced as a woman and you are available for childbirth. You can, you're of age to give childbirth and all that. Of course, you don't at 13 or 14, hopefully. But anyway, that's what they do is a celebratory thing. And a lot of African tribes still do the same thing,
Right.
So it makes sense if you think about it. A creature that is forced into the deepest parts of the country because of man and pollution and all the things we're doing, that they would make sure that happens. That this guy was telling me 30 or 40 Sasquatch were there, not all mating, but young ones that were there, and the rest were the parents or the offspring or watchers to watch out while all the activities were going on. You know,
Right.
I don't think they view sex as we do as humans. It's more of a recreational thing, and I mean, it's procreation, but it's also recreation. Once you're done
Right.
with kids,
Right.
I mean, I got my tubes tied, and I got fixed. Let's go snip and clip, and okay, we can.
Exactly.
And there's not going to be a kid, coming 9 months later. So
Yeah.
I can see why that would be. They don't look at sex like we do, and this is merely supposition on my part. I can just imagine, it's not animalistic, but I think it's a more spiritual thing for
Right.
them. The truly religious experience or a spiritual thing that knows nothing better than that. I can see that because they are spiritual, feeling, sensitive beings.
Right. I mean, yeah, and it makes perfect sense to me. I think we're coming up about the time that we're going to roll and do this giveaway. So yeah, let's see who the lucky winner is. What happened? What happened to the screen?
I don't know.
Nobody wins. Oh, Dina Dean has won. Dina, congratulations. You know how to get in touch with me. You know what to do. So, Dina, congratulations. You get to pick a book. Wonderful. Okay, so we got just a couple of minutes left. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find out more info and get your books and whatnot.
My website is sqexplorer.com. SQEXPLORER.com. Same as my email, really. And you can go in there and read about the cover, the event that led to that. I have probably 3 or 4 dozen podcasts you can pull down and download and listen to all you want. I've got the last one we did is on there. And so, and I'm always adding to it. I'm starting to add some photos, but I've got to go back and copyright them all because some people will take them and use them nefariously. And so, but SQ Explorer, SQEXPLORER.com. And you can contact me if you got something you want to tell me or ask me. If it's a private email thing, you can just email me. And but that's how you get my books, And if you want to buy multiple books, I'll give you a deal on if you buy 2 or more. I've only got 3, so if you buy all 3, I'll give you a break. But that's how you find me. And I'm real easy to talk to. You can find me if you email me. I will return your call or email. I just
Awesome. Do you have any Paracons or cryptid events coming up this year?
Yeah, I've got one coming up in Arkansas. I think it's when is that? It's in June. I've got one here in Kansas City. It's the Science Con. I think it's in July, and I've got another one in Overland Park, Kansas. It's sometime around September, August, sometime like that.
It sounds like we're going to be at the same 2 cons because Supernatural Inc., we've got one in Kansas City, and then we have one in Overland Park. So we may be crossing paths.
Yeah, the Overland Park one is August.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I think it's the Kansas City Paranormal, KC Paranormal, and
Yep. So we're going to be at that one too. So we'll get to hang out a little bit. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, and I'm a speaker there. I do a presentation and all that. So
yep.
And I'll probably I'll be really going heavy into the cover on this because that's just getting everybody riled up. So and when the haters and trolls hopped all over me, I thought it was just first I was like really ticked off. Then I was going,
yep.
I must be doing something right.
I said this to a really good friend of mine the other day. I said, when the haters are coming after you, it's because you're doing something right.
Yeah. I stole their thunder. And,
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm very creative, but I can't make this stuff up. I wouldn't do that. This is these are real people.
Right.
Guy next door, somebody right now, anybody listening right now, somebody who's had a Sasquatch event. They just hadn't told you because they're afraid of ridicule.
Exactly.
I find this often.
Dina, and we'll let this be the last question. Dina says, do you think Bigfoot is the same as the Yeti, the urine, and others across the earth?
Yeah, it's the Yeren, Yerin, but yeah, Yeren. But yeah, I do believe they're linked somehow. I think they're part of the same species, but just different offshoots. They're white and heavily furred or haired for the snow and to be able to be, hide, and the ones here in the United States, they're brown, black, maybe some red, but, they blend in with the forest. So they're, regionally diverse, but they're regionally adapted to their terrain. So yeah, I think they're all part of, and the Yowie down in Australia, they're all part of it. I believe.
Well, Carter, thank you again for coming on the show. It's always a blast to have you on. I don't think this will be the last time.
I'm breaking up with you. I'm done. We're breaking up.
Okay, well, can I at least get the books every other weekend?
Yeah. No, I'd love to come back. I wish it was a little bit longer, but once you get going, it's hard to shut me up.
Well, I mean, Carter, it's usually now a 2-hour show.
Oh.
But the only reason that we are doing an hour, and I guess I should have mentioned this at the beginning, is I am up here in South Dakota, and I have a ton to do. I've got some paranormal events I'm trying to set up in Deadwood. But next time you come on, we will have 2 full hours. So
that's cool because I can get going. I can outline something that would be pretty interesting. The stuff in here, most people haven't heard. Many more won't even believe. Unless they're experiencers themselves. So,
right.
There's a lot of stuff in here, especially the habituation stuff's off the charts. It's just really cool. So,
well, I will definitely be getting. Oh, I had a blast, and I will get with you on Facebook or something about getting the books. Sure. And as I always like to. Oh, and by the way, for my viewers that are probably thinking, "Wait a minute, Brandon, you forgot to do something." I did not forget to light the sage for the show, like I always do. I'm actually going to be going to Bear Butte here in South Dakota and doing some meditating and some ceremony, and each and every one of you will be in my thoughts. So this, instead of lighting the sage, I will be doing something on top of Bear Butte for everyone. As I always like to end my show, and I always have a helper here. Oh, there it is. Carol Garcia always says, "Remember to smile." And, we need more of that here in the world. And also, as I always say, as I end my show, it's not about surviving the storm, but it's how you dance in the rain. So
good one.
Hopefully like that means, and I mean, it's true. So, our official website is now up where you can watch streaming live on Google, Chrome, DuckDuckGo, or whatever you want. It is www.skydoorentertainment.org, www.skydoorentertainment.org. You can scroll down to the bottom and make sure there are links for Sacred Mountain Retreat Center down there, where you can learn more about Sacred Mountain and how Sacred Mountain is saving lives every day. You can also donate to the Got Your Six, where you donate $6 a month on the 6th. It's a very great program. Again, I would not be sitting here talking to such a great Bigfoot expert if it wasn't for Sacred Mountain. It's just an amazing place. Let's help save more lives here. You know what? We're setting a goal for. We're going to reach $1 million donation for Sacred Mountain. I'm putting the intention out into the universe. We will reach 1 million this year, so we can help so many more lives. So please check that out. Also, there's a little donation slot for the hosts. I do this for free, so I don't care. But some of us need some equipment. Blah blah blah. If you would love to give, that would be great. Other than that, Carter, wonderful show. Like I say, next time I'm going to block out 2 hours for us, brother.
Awesome.
Yep, and I will see you in Kansas City and Overland Park.
Apparently, a DoubleTree Inn, I think, is where it's at.
Yep. So
and that's it. All right. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
It's gonna be great. So once again, thank you so much. And as always, join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern for Shaman Sundays. Good night, everybody. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Carter.
Namaste.